Welcome to Composite Charts 101. So what we're looking at today, guys, is actually a chart for P. So we're going to call her, and I just name the guy as him because, like, whatever. But they're being anonymous for this reading, but they have volunteered to have their chart used for this example. Okay, so this is a composite chart. For a composite chart, it's the relationship of two individuals, how their charts come together and make the energy of what their purpose is as a squad. I use astro charts for mine. You are free to use any other thing because it's handy. Because sometimes, as you can see right here, let me zoom in so you guys can see. Um, they sort of ruffle their numbers up sometimes. Like you can see the numbers over it, but I don't know why they do that. I'm fortunate enough that I have read so many charts that I can just go around and not be bothered by that. But for the sake of, I guess, you guys understanding and stuff like that, um, the ascendant is always house number one over here, no matter what chart you read going forward. So you just count from there. Whatever the house lines are right up in this area, just make your own way with it. If it comes down to it, you have to do it that way. So in a composite chart, when somebody is a Cancer ascendant, that means they came to have a family together because Cancer directly connects to the fourth house, which would be over here. You can't see the number over it because it's all like spiced up. But it would be, nope, hold on, right here. It would be the fourth house. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So that rules this house. And you can see here in their fourth house, there is the sign of Libra. That is directly connected to ownership of the seventh house for marriage. And as you can see in this chart, they have 1, 2, 3, 4 planets, including their sun, which is the main identity of the relationship, in being married. That is also in the sign of Capricorn, which means what? Legacy. So automatically, this couple came to be together and have a family. That is their main goal. But it is first meant for them to conquer the mission of their south node, which is typically done either around the time they turn, I'm sorry, well, the north node is usually met around the time that they turn 18 and a half, that they would be in a position to meet. Whether they actually meet at that time or not, questionable, because between 18 and a half, 20, it could also just make events happen in their lives that move them towards meeting each other further down the line as well. But they have to conquer in this life with their north node in fourth. They have to conquer the mission of Aries in 10th. Is that Aries in 10th? It would be nice if this is not set up like that. So what you do with this, especially because that was so close, you come down here and you look and see because the degrees are close. Scorpio in first. So this is the beginning of their first time trying to having a private home life, but sort of a public business. Something they're going to do has to do with this Taurus and 10th energy right here. That's the south node. So they'll be coming from having some sort of business or some sort of thing where they'll be cooking, because Cancer is all about cooking domestic things. And that Capricorn connecting to their marriage and their whole purpose thing there is letting you know that they came to have some sort of food business with the Taurus south node, but also some sort of pioneering. Aries energy is all about innovation, doing something for the first time. This could also mean something they do something that helps other people uh, work on their bodies. Because right here you see the moon, which connects to Cancer. Cancer is ruled by the moon and this fourth house. This is where like the heart, the mind, the emotions of the relationship are. So they might have some issues sometimes with their feelings and feeling very stuck in their ways as well because of this. But with that being in the 10th house, that means there is a big purpose in them fulfilling a career obligation together. I noticed with a lot of these charts, either somebody came in your life for you to do something together that's going to require you guys to work together, or you're going to just learn one of the lessons up in this area. Either it's going to help you identify self, what you came to earn. I've seen some people that have charts that literally the relationship came together for them to get married and divorced for one of the parties to end up with money. It's a fucked up system, but hey, it is what it is. Everybody's learning a lesson. Maybe somebody came to learn about gold diggers, which is not the case here. These people came to have a family. The wounds in that here, Chiron, is in the third house. So maybe there's some communication. And that probably makes sense because if these guys are so stubborn in their feelings sometimes with that Aries energy here, the balance is that the words they say to each other sometimes might hurt each other and cause some wounds in their parentage. So that's important to keep in mind. But also note when you're trying to find out what the issues are in a relationship or what could be to the couple's detriment, you look at the 12th house. You can see here the 12th house has Gemini in it. Gemini directly connects to their third house where their wound is in partnership. So something about the way these guys sometimes use their words and hurt each other with their words causes a bit of a hiccup or could be the undoing. But this is not one of those relationships that is meant to be undone, guys. And how do you know that in this case? Well, besides the fact that the North Node is in family, other places you would look for a North Node to decide if they are people who are actually meant to be together versus people who are only coming into their life for a season would be right here in this fourth, over here in the seventh for marriage, up here in the 10th for career reputation, also in the 11th because that's wishes and dreams. So that's more like soulmate energy. People who came to do like a teamwork mission. And sometimes the 12th house, both people came to learn a karmic lesson, but also that can be something that's fated that leads to something else they're meant to do together. So the ones that are up here are majorly the ones that are more permanent than possibly some of these down here. Like I definitely know that if you come with the North Node in a relationship chart in first house, chances are there you guys came to learn who you are and then move on, or second, money, fifth, creativity, or maybe even just to have one child together as an opportunity. But here you see, besides that, Mars, their passion is in the fifth house, their creativity. Their first child will be very important to them because their Mars, their passion, what drives them to start to move towards making money for their family. Also, this Pluto and Sagittarius is some transformation that happens here, probably due to a second child, or either this could be because it's related to the eighth house, something about friendship, something about their relationship and connecting with how they are going from just possibly dating to actually having a real solid relationship and making something of this. Because you have the sixth house right here in the sign of Sagittarius, which means in their day-to-day life, they need to do something adventurous. They need to do something that helps them expand their minds. And this connects to their dreams and ambitions of the ninth house here, which are restricted. So they have a bit of a fog over what they're meant to be doing together, even down to the marriage. Because when you are figuring out where things go, you have to look at the sign that is the owner, which is Pisces. Pisces belongs to what? The 12th house. So we got their communication issues, but then you have over here the way that they get those out, the way that they iron those wrinkles out in that restriction in their business here in their marriage. The identity of the relationship, the ego, the sun is right here, which directly connects to this fifth house over here where their passion is. Also, this Uranus here shows that it's going to be like a radical change. Maybe this ends up being something that they have to do online, or maybe their relationship leads them to a place where they might be more friends than worried about how to take care of their kids and stuff. Like maybe some relaxation will help or happen after they finally figure out what the hell they have to do to take care of this kid that comes along, and sort of has them be more serious in their relationship. Because you see Mercury right here as well. Their logic, the way they speak and all that stuff is right up in here in this relationship. And it really feels like the main issue with having the air, the Aquarius, the Gemini, and the Libra in the places they are, as it gives their lives a very logical feel. Their emotional stuff is in opposite houses, so to speak. So the issue here is when they speak to each other, they use their own thoughts, their own ideas about how things should be, their own belief systems, instead of thinking about the other person's feelings, or either sometimes probably interjecting their own feelings. And there's a restriction on that, on their sensitivity because of this Saturn in Pisces. I find that so funny because Saturn rules this 10th house right here. And that lack of sensitivity causes what? Aries in the 10th house. So it appears that they're like in their own feelings. There's something to look over there. So this gives you guys a good overview of what a Cancer ascendant, a couple who comes around to have a family, And their relationship setup is like. Say this is, all of these are pretty destined, but this is for generations, for lineage, for legacy. Some of these will be for just the marriage. Some of these will be just for the children only. But as we go through each relationship ascendant, you'll get an idea of the different ways that they play out. Thank you guys. Have a great evening.